In today's video, we're making an acorn soup. It's delicious, blended smooth. It's the perfect cozy meal. Let's get started. To make this acorn soup, I'm using roasted acorn squash, which I've already done before, so you and I can cook a lot faster. If you need to know how to do that, I'm gonna link it below this video. You're gonna learn how to roast acorn squash really easy. I went ahead and chopped half an onion before I got started as well. And here I just have a single rib of celery that I also like to use in my soups to add seasoning and flavor. And since everything's gonna be blended after, it doesn't matter how coarse or fine you chop the veggies. You can chop it easily and not pay attention to the size of it. So first thing you wanna do is heat up your pot so it's nice and hot. Any 5-quart soup pot will do. So let's take our butter and melt it in your pot. And the first thing I wanna do is saute that celery and the onions. You could also use frozen onions or frozen mirepoix for this. It'll save you some time. Take your spoon and stir it around. Now I just want to saute this for about 2 to 3 minutes, just enough to where my onions are nice and translucent, a little soft, so I can add my flour and spices, and then they too can toast with the veggies. Toasting your flour and all of your spices are going to enhance the flavor. So here I have some paprika, and add a little cumin, thyme, and of course a little bit of salt. Stir that around. Toast them together for about a minute or so. And then I'm gonna add some milk slowly, and then some broth or stock. I'm using vegetable, but use what you got on hand. We're gonna bring this to a simmer and let it cook for about 5 minutes. Now that you've brought your soup base to a nice simmering and rolling boil, you're gonna take your roasted acorn squash and add it directly in the pot. I'm gonna mix it up. Now, because my acorn squash was already roasted and cooked, and I've already brought my soup to a simmer, and my veggies are nice and tender, and we're gonna blend all of this. This is a soup that you can make really quickly. I'm gonna put my lid on it and let my acorn squash heat through and absorb all of those seasonings of our soup. So it's been 5 minutes, and just like that, our soup has thickened up. The acorn squash has absorbed all of the seasonings. And to make this nice and smooth, there are 2 ways of doing this. One, you can take an immersion blender, which you're gonna insert directly in your pot and make your soup really smooth. But if you don't have one of these, I'm gonna show you how you can take any blender that you have at home and still achieve that really smooth soup from here. So plan A is to take your handheld immersion blender, blend it on low and then on higher speed until you achieve that smooth soup consistency that you like. But we're not going to do that because I'm going to just assume that you don't have an immersion blender, so I'll show you how to do it with a traditional blender. You're gonna take your blender in one hand, make sure you have a good grip on it, and then you're gonna use a soup ladle and ladle out, as you can see, there's a roasted squash, and fill your soup. Now there is a trick to this, I'm gonna tell you in just a second. You are probably gonna have to work in batches. That's really important when you are working with hot soups in your blender. It's not the same thing as making a smoothie. Fill your blender no more than halfway through because it's hot and you don't want a kitchen disaster. Let's take our soup, cover it. In my kitchen blender, I'm gonna start on low speed and then gradually increase it to make it really smooth. Let me show you what it looks like. Now, because I am working in batches, I don't want to pour this back into my pot. So I have one of these pitchers on the side, and I'm going to set it on the side real quick. And I'm gonna repeat the process with the rest of the soup from my pot. And let's take this and blend up our second batch. Okay, so now I'm gonna take my first batch, which you can see it's nice and smooth, and put it back in my pot. And then the one from my blender. And then I'm gonna take my ladle and mix it around so it's a nice, smooth soup. I'm gonna take some and ladle. It's smooth, delicious, and it's the perfect cozy soup to make ahead or serve on any occasion. See you next time.